what was the part that challenged you the most in terms of risk component? And then how did you turn things around and made this such a wave? You end up with 200 plus investors knocking on your door. Can we get in?
I can tell you what the top 5 complaints that people have are. And you sort of, the first time you pitch, you hear like one of these things, like you roughly have an idea. But what I do is every time I hear a new question, I add a slide to the back of the deck. And by the time I've done like 5 or 6 pitches, I basically have a slide for every possible, like objection that people have on the idea. But the top 5 are, how are you going to keep this thing cold? Because space is a vacuum and it's very difficult to dissipate in a vacuum. How are you going to make the chips work in a high radiation environment? How do you handle the problem of orbital debris and micrometeorites hitting such a large structure? How do you handle security, data security, or physical security from adversaries? And how do you handle the regulatory environment for permitting such a large structure in space? So essentially, you have to have a well thought through and plausible, like actually good answer to all of these points. Otherwise, you're not going to get very far.